got it. Let me just do this again. We had the little summary, the little preview. Now, I feel compelled to begin with Catherine of Siena, the author of our first reading. She was a twin and the 23rd of 25 children of Giacomo and Lupa Benincasa. Half of the children, including her twin, passed away. As a child, her nickname was Joy, and from childhood and all throughout her life, she saw visions, some quite unorthodox, clearly ascetic, bordering on extreme. She often fasted, and at the age of 16, she entered the Third Order Dominicans, an association of devout laywomen. Quite rare for a woman in the Middle Ages, she communicated with princes and popes, negotiated peace between states in Italy, and was involved in politics. Rather than addressing her letters to the Pope as Your Eminence, they were addressed to Daddy. No comment. In today's language, we'd probably call her a diplomat. Catherine died at the age of 33. 8 days before she died, she had a stroke and was paralyzed from the waist down. During her short life, in addition to defending the Pope and being a sought-after spiritual director, she developed a reputation as a mystic, a reformer, and an activist. Folks, this was 1347 to 1380, a long time ago. She was canonized in 1461 and named a doctor of the church in 1970. What would it look like if everyone believed the words that we heard Anne Wood proclaim this morning in our first reading? All has been consecrated. Perhaps this is the week you respond to Catherine of Siena's invitation to awaken and recognize holiness in everything and everyone. All creatures, the earth, the seas, the clouds, and hearts full of love. The same message presents in our psalm response. Awaken to the awesome mystery of God. Building from this sense of awe, in our second reading from Revelation, we heard Denise DeZolt's voice proclaim, the dwelling of God is among the people, and see, I make all things new. The book of Revelation was composed on the island of Patmos, a Roman penal colony. Its imagery projects visions about the conflict between good and evil, with the promise that underlies it of love. These ideas of newness and God with us recur throughout our scriptures. And yet, if you are like me, you sometimes take and hear those words and take them for granted until something connects. This week, for me, it was the word new. It surfaced again in the heart of our gospel. I will give you a new commandment. Love one another. Love each other the same way I love you. I would love to hear from each of you what your perspective of new is that resonates with you today. But I want to share a story. This past Tuesday, I was involved in something new I was one of 3 women from North America to present at a worldwide forum organized by the Catholic Women's Council. And the Catholic Women's Council is an umbrella organization made up of Catholic women's groups and networks from around the world, working for the full recognition and the dignity and equality of women in the church. There are not a number of nuns, lay theologians, primarily women, but there are some men who are members. So on this Zoom connection, there were 140 people, mostly women from, I counted 25 countries, may have been more. For those on the East Coast of the United States, it began at 7:30 in the morning, so I was online at 7:15, just a few hours earlier than I normally am on a regular day. As I listened to women present from the Philippines, India, Australia, Bolivia, South Africa, Kenya, Germany, and Canada, common themes emerged around the idea that another church is possible. And here's a quick summary of what I heard. I heard someone from Australia share about where a more team or collaborative oriented approach to diocesan management has been tried in the 80s and 90s, and all collapsed when a new bishop was named. I heard multiple people reference the need to collaborate with the Spirit, that they were looking for a non-hierarchical discipleship of equals, marked by mutuality and rationality and inclusivity. And that leadership would include grounded, empowered leaders of all genders, which included women. That small communities were emerging as a new model, and that a transformed understanding of both priesthood and seminary formation was needed. So when it was my turn, I started out by referencing Avery Dulles' models of the church, acknowledging that the church as institution, which is the model most, let's just say, firmly embraced by the Roman Catholic Church, it no longer serves the people of God. But also referencing Dulles' model of a community of disciples. This is the model that I think speaks to the church of the future. Rather than reform, using a picture of road construction, I spoke to the fact that I think reconstruction really is necessary. Back to the roots, regrade, and begin again. And I invited those people listening to hold the image of a triangle, shifting to a circle, and to begin that transition by inverting the triangle. I wrapped up by sharing photos of this community. One here in the chapel in those days when everyone here was masked. One of everyone on Zoom, and the one taken in Carolyn Stan's backyard during our anniversary celebration last summer. The feedback was immediate and positive. The chat just blew up with people commenting. And yet I felt I was talking about our community. I was talking about how we got here. And yet what most energized me was when everyone online had a chance to join a language-specific breakout group. So they had English speakers, Spanish speakers, French speakers, and you could join a breakout group of your primary or preferred language. So I joined an English-speaking group, as it is the only language that I even have close to fluency in. And what I found that I was in the minority. One of 2 white women in a breakout group of 7. It felt great. And it's different than most of the Zoom breakouts I've been in. Everyone shared candidly. And again, a number of similar themes, although local implementations surfaced in comments. I even invited one of the people in the group who shared to join us. And I know she logged in to Zoom at 7 this morning because I received a message. So maybe I'm really challenged to translate across time zones around the world. So anyway, I hope she joins us sometime. Overall, the experience really left me hopeful that women and men all over the world are in conversation together on the way. And in this environment, it really was easy to see holiness everywhere. It also reinforced for me how lucky we are. And I want to express my deep gratitude to this community, to each of you for making Mary Magdalene what it is, the people of God. So since I began with Catherine of Siena today, I'll wrap up with one of my favorite quotes, often attributed to her. Be who God meant you to be, and you will set the world on fire. My friends, the question I leave you with is, will the witness of our lives and our love attract anyone who wants to join us? God bless you all.